Well, welcome to Behind the Bullseye, episode 3. And we are so excited to be here because we got so much. It's an Oscar night special. We got so much going on. Dan, my brother, is joining me. Writer, producer, director, extraordinaire. Well, not really, but
you
play well.
We play about the same. I might have.
I don't call myself good, but I love playing darts. Definitely not. I am not league material. There's no doubt about that. And it's funny because we were talking to someone the other day, which we're going to shortly share. And I was looking back at it. I remember I got my first dartboard almost. It had to be over 30 years ago. I went. There was a place
when you were 10. You got it when you were 10.
Yes, when I was 9 and a half.
9.5.
But there was a place in New York City called Black Billiards, and it was like the only place you could go and really find a dartboard. It was a beautiful billiard. It took like
I know Blatt's,
incredible place.
That's where I got my first set of darts.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I was looking back and I was trying to think. It's like because I know I started playing with you and we were talking about that and when you're like, oh, do you ever shoot darts? I'm like, yeah. And I hadn't brought out my darts for ages, and I had a little pocket and stuff like that. But my very first dartboard, which I still have, you know what? 1 second. I'm gonna.
Yeah. I wish I had like some elevator music or something to play for you. These are.
I'm not gonna be going that long.
It didn't take long at all.
This was my very first dartboard.
Nice.
And I got it like 30
and
years
it looks like you've had it for 30 years.
Well, yeah. Now I just have to keep it as a trophy. But and it's a Winmore dartboard.
Dartboard, yeah.
Kept it.
They're the best.
And, well, shoot, I kind of maybe let something out. Dad, do we have some exciting news to share? You wanna let people in on the news?
So, beginning of the week, we had a meeting with some of the executives at Winmore, who, by the way, are the number one. They're the number one dart name in the business. I mean, they're like Nike if you play basketball over here. You know, they sponsor all the World Dart Championship. They make the best darts, the best boards, everything, and they have come on as a sponsor of Bulls. So I know, right? It couldn't be more exciting.
I'm like kind of getting giddy speeches, and I love that you gave him a pitch line. You're like, oh, why your pitch was awesome.
So all right, so we had this meeting with them, and at the end of the meeting, they're like, so does anybody have any last questions? I'm like, well, I got a question. And they're like, yeah, Dan, what is it? And I said, how is the slogan for your company not lose less, win more? Like it just seemed like a no-brainer. But you know what's funny, Kev, is there was a long pause, and I was like, oh no, I just screwed everything up. And all of a sudden, boom,
Sorry,
and then they just started
we're not going to be partnering up with you.
I know. Exactly. Then we got
I think they liked it though. He paused. I think he was like, it was almost like, wait a minute.
Well, it's just that's such a no-brainer, right?
Yeah, and we're so excited because truly they are the best in business, and they sponsor. When you see a championship, it's their board up there. I mean, it's just like it's incredible. What they do and how they do it, and I'm psyched to play with more of their equipment.
Well, can I give you a little bit of props here in this interview that we're doing? Well, it's not an interview. It's just
did I do something?
Well, because they said during the meeting, because we had reached out to them when we very first started.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, well, this is very exciting. We look forward to seeing the movie, but they weren't interested in sponsoring us. But then they followed all of our social media and all the stuff all the work that you've been doing, and then they now they get it, and they were like, well, yes, let's.
Yeah, and we tacked on that we even before day one of shooting that we wanted to share the love of and I think that's what was so beautiful is like we didn't go in there kind of pitch anything. We just went in there saying we love this and we were such a fan and we want that kind of passion here in the States, and I think they got it. And it was just like it was mutual love of darts, that kind of went it all over. But yeah, the first time I saw them like a social media post, I remember texting you like, Winmore likes us.
Yes.
They liked it. They liked it. It was so Sally Field Oscar.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say.
Back to the Oscars.
The Oscars, that's right.
Ah, full circle. Wait, dartboard circle. It's blowing my mind.
You think we couldn't have written a script this good?
I know, right? Well, speaking of Oscars, I know for me the Oscars, I'm like that was a magical night. I used to have Oscar parties, and we'd have predictions and big pools on.
That was always the fun part. Was you get your friends together, and then everybody fills out their ballot, and everybody puts in $10-20 or whatever, and whoever won got the money. It was just fun, But Yeah, I miss
Have you
those
seen
days.
many of the movies this year?
I'll tell you. So being in the WGA, I just kind of end up watching the ones of the screeners that they give me. So I've watched, some of them. I haven't watched all of them. When I saw Elvis, I saw. I tell you, the one that everybody's talking about that will probably win Everything Everywhere All at Once. I fell asleep during.
I watched it a couple times and I never got all the way through.
Really?
Yeah, I never. And you know what? This is the first year I actually remember. Like, I always remember seeing like For Your Consideration in Variety and trade papers, but now seeing them on actual television commercials, like For Your Consideration, Banshees. I see all over the place now. So they're campaigning hard for that. And I have
It's
to
interesting,
say,
right? Like, because
yeah,
that's such an industry thing, because only industry people can vote.
yeah,
People in the academy can vote, and
they must
but
think the Academy people are not looking at their mail.
it could be it. It's probably building awareness with the movie going public that we are nominated.
Yeah.
But I did see Banshees of Inisherin. I saw that. I saw Top Gun. I saw that. I like Banshees of Inisherin. But then,
that was a weird one, just because I mean it's like it is so well done, it is so well acted, but it's such a bizarre, like it's not a feel good movie, but it's just so good.
he's a unique talent, that Martin McDonagh.
Yeah,
He's a special guy. He did the first play that I'm aware of was Beauty Queen of Lebanon, and it started in Ireland, and then when I saw it on Broadway, it was like the night after the Tony, or maybe not the night after the Tonys, but it was right after the Tonys, after they had won some awards, and I went and saw it, and I was blown away. Like, it was the original cast, and it was really amazing. And then he's just a terrific writer. And then several years later, I met him at a pub in Chicago, and we sat down and we just got to talking, and we were I was having a beer. He was not having a beer at the time. And we just got to talking, and we just hit it off, and we talked more. And he's like, I'm like, what? And he's like, I got a bet with my mates back in London to not drink, and it's £100. And whichever one of us drinks first, we owe all the other guys like £100. And he's like, but Dan, I sure want to have a beer right now. And we kept talking. Then finally, he's like, screw it, I don't care. I owe everybody £100. He's like, can I get a beer? And then we just sat and drank beers together. And that's the only time I ever hung out with him. But got to know Martin McDonagh a little bit years ago.
That's nice. Do you have any predictions or picks? Hopeful, like you're hoping this person wins for this role or anything like that this year?
I really, I feel a little, I'll be completely honest. I think because I've been so busy working on Bulls that I've just been a little disconnected from it this year. When I usually am I'm pretty up to date on it. Like, I have more of the movies that are nominated than I've watched. I just haven't really had the chance, because I've just been so wrapped up in trying to make our movie the best movie it can be. So.
Well, speaking of our movie, any casting updates? I know we get a lot of emails like, have you done all the casting? Have you, it's like, am I going to get a call back? Am I like, you want to, talk a little about where the state we're at, and maybe some questions that, that people might have because of, coming in for either a callback or initial audition, where we're at?
So we had our first weekend of auditions. We had our second weekend of auditions. We had callbacks at the end of that second weekend. We got tapes, self-taped, and then we also got auditions on people self-taping from Chicago, and we are getting very close to narrowing it down to having the full cast done. So
that's exciting news! Exciting news!
It's exciting news. It's exciting news. It's really exciting. It's also, it's a bit heartbreaking because, like I said, you see all these great people, that are auditioning for one role, and you can only cast, one person. And it doesn't mean that somebody didn't do a great job. It's just the way it works. You can only cast one person.
Like, you'll see like 5 people or 6 people for, whether it's auditioning for Hank or Austin, and each one of them kind of takes you in this journey of a different way that character would be and a different embodiment of that character. You're like, oh, that would be cool that way, or that would be cool that way. And there's just so many options. But it's like you having yourself written it and now directing it. I think, do you have that dialogue of like, I like the way they're going, or it's the perfect mesh with what I see, and they can be that, or that collaboration? How do you kind of settle on who you're picking?
So sometimes, like during the course, like somebody would come in and read for a part. I'm like, oh, that's our person. That's And then somebody else will come in and read for it. Like, well, wait a second. I didn't expect that. That's or they're even put the whole picture together even more. So it just kind of changes. And sometimes somebody comes in and does something that completely surprises you, and you're like, wow, I hadn't thought about that, but that takes it in a different direction. And what if we went that way instead? So, and then I think that the part of it is you just kind of start trying to put all the puzzles together. I mean, there were roles that I had written for men that I'm like, I'm going to cast a woman in that role now after the auditions. So I was like, it'd be more interesting. It'll be this, so it's just, it's just putting all the different pieces of the puzzle together, but that's a lot of fun of it. It's like,
yeah.
just kind of creating that landscape of the different characters and seeing how like, oh, this will really make up this.
Oh, Dan, 1 second. I didn't want to jinx it before, but it is actually happening, and I'm actually kind of like beside.
Are you serious?
Yeah. We didn't really want to even talk about it. They're joining us right now from across the pond, the Bad Boys of Darts. Do you want to throw? Dan, I gotta let you. You want to introduce these guys?
All right. So I can't believe that this is going on. So we had Jules and Danny on last time we did the #1 dart team in the country, but we had all right, we heard from I'm still not gonna believe it until I see it. But
I can't believe it.
All right. Well, all right, this is a very special moment. So a few weeks ago we had Jules Van Dongen and Danny Baggish on the #1 ranked team in the country. Today we have on it's just crazy to say. Nikki, the Manchester Mauler Galleon, and Lance Pretty Boy Galleon, the Galleon brothers, the #1 ranked dart team in the world. So, I mean, if they're really there, I'll be amazed.
From across the pond, guys, welcome.
There they are.
Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks so much for joining us. That's insane. Where are you guys?
Yeah. What's this about? Yeah.
Where are you guys?
We're in Manchester.
Guys, I can't thank you enough for joining us, especially the time difference and across the pond. We're so excited to have you here today. And as the #1 team in the world, I got to know, how did you get into this game? How did you get into darts?
Well, my nan and granddad were dart players. The Manchester Molester was my granddad's name. Is that funny? Is that funny to you?
No, it's a unique name. Did you play at home, or did they actually like take you to a pub and play?
No, we grew up in bars.
You grew up in bars. You were around bars all the time. That's awesome.
Right,
it's the best place to learn to throw.
That's where you learn. That's the best place to learn.
You see everything not to do.
Yeah, what not to do, what to do.
Yeah. I see a bunch of trophies behind you, and I think a dartboard. And is there a picture on that dartboard I'm seeing? I can't quite make it out. But.
Yeah, that's the Dutch oven and Kenny Rogers.
I'm sure his nickname, the Dutch. Where did you come up with that nickname for him?
Oh, that's what I've always called him ever since I first met him. In
terms of endearment, I guess.
Yeah. You'd say so. You'd say that.
Yeah.
You guys have played them before, I understand.
Yeah, quite a few times.
Have they ever beaten you?
Of course they haven't beaten us.
Look at the trophies. We have the trophies, right?
I mean, they're Americans. I don't understand how you bring those fellas on.
Right.
And here we are. I mean, I don't even know. We probably took some of these from them. Nobody pays attention to the American dart game. It's all it is. It's cricket.
Little tiny
Cricket.
crickets.
We definitely tried to get you on first, and we're glad to have you here tonight. You want to tell us? I think you guys are into music as well. No, or you're recording an album? I heard.
Yeah, we've been working on it for about 10 years now. And it's not quite finished yet, but we'll be soon here.
How many songs are going to be on the album? If it's taken 10 years, it's going to be 30, 40 songs.
Doesn't matter how many songs, it's what the songs is about.
So you guys, any musical influences? What is there a theme? What's your inspiration for this album?
Life, death, dots,
It's everything, right?
everything.
Art, dart. It's like life, and if there was something called life, but there's not something called life, but there is something called art, and there is something called dart, and that's why we're here.
Dan, you got any questions to follow up?
No, I was going to ask him the same thing too. I was like, are they focusing more on darts these days, or are you focusing on your music, or?
Are you focusing on breathing?
I mean, I don't focus on it. I just kind of comes
Right,
naturally.
right. Well, that's just it now, isn't it? We don't have to focus on it. You just do it.
Okay, can I ask you this? Do you spend more of your day practicing darts or practicing music?
I don't know what practice means.
Right.
I mean,
When it's your whole life, it's not practice. You're just living.
You just kind of do it all the time.
That's fair enough.
we just live.
Nice.
Well, let me ask you this: do you guys look at darts as an art form as well? I mean, you're the best in the world. I mean, you.
What did I just say? What did I just say?
It's in the
What
What
work.
is it with you? You can't listen.
Is the album maybe so under wraps, or is there something you could share? Give us a little preview,
We'd love to hear something if you wouldn't mind playing it.
little exclusive.
I mean,
Do the little number. Do that little number. You know, it's
this is me Dolly Parton guitar. This is where a tits would go. Yeah, this is where a tits go here. Right here, this curve here. And that's all I got. That's all I got for you.
it's beautiful though, isn't it?
That was
Really
And
the
that's
summer, huh?
just and that's just this much you only earn.
Going to be a big album, and tonight is actually where our Oscar special here in the States. You know, the Oscars for us is a big deal, and we're kind of picking any inside. Who do you think is going to win tonight? Any grand picks?
Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise.
I'd like to see Shakira.
Right.
Yes, Shakira. Okay.
Her hips do not lie.
Right.
True. I didn't know
Right.
she was up for tonight, but Dan,
Neither Tom Cruise isn't nominated either.
I
mean,
think Maverick's
Gun
up for
is,
best.
but not-
Well, his movie is at least. So
His
you know,
movie.
I
it's
mean,
his
who,
movie, yeah.
who cares? Who wants to watch a movie when you can watch Shakira?
Right. And Tom Cruise does all of his own stunts. I mean, he's on a motorcycle
He's
24 hours
pretty
a day.
badass. You guys live on the edge and dangerous. You do anything like bungee jumping or anything crazy like that? You guys living on
It's
the
not
edge or
very dart related, but yes,
Yeah, right. Extreme darting. we do.
extreme darting.
We take the dirty birds, real high. We'll stand on something real tall.
I have a feeling as kids you probably put an apple on one's head and threw darts at each other.
Who didn't do
Who the
that?
fuck didn't do that shit?
A little William Tell, they call it.
Yeah, I can
but-
picture it.
I mean, there's only one way to learn.
Right, yeah, right.
What's it
Right,
like
we-
for you guys? What's it like for you guys over there being big dart celebs? Does it change your bar habits or is it easy to go out?
No, it's
Guys-
fine. I got one word for you. Satisfaction. You know Mick Jagger? He's
do,
saying
yeah.
about I
Oh.
can't get no satisfaction.
You got it.
But he's already satisfied. He got it. It's fine.
Nice. Dan, any other
It was all a
questions you
joke,
have, or-
wasn't it?
It was a joke. That song was a joke. It's fake.
He was joking.
No.
I got it. So Mick Jagger was joking or you were?
No, Mick Jagger was joking
Yeah,
when
yeah.
he said, "I can't get no." Of course, he's
Oh.
satisfied.
Aye.
He's
Yeah.
British. He's
Yeah.
satisfied.
You guys with your sarcastic humor. I did grow up on Monty Python and Benny Hill, so a little difference in Faulty Towers. And those were my favorite comedies growing up. How about you guys?
Absolutely fabulous. That's all I give a shit about.
What's next for you guys? Tournaments, your music? Are you guys playing out? What's going on?
It doesn't really fucking matter, does it, right?
Well, it's kind of it helps it helps the interview, to talk about something. What do you guys want to talk
Well,
about?
we don't exist for you to interview us, though. That's the fucking problem.
Ah, all right,
Here
this-
we are giving you
Dan, you
our
got any
time.
questions for these
Here
guys?
we are giving you our time.
Oh, we
and-
appreciate it.
and-
Trust me, we appreciate it. I'm sorry, we do appreciate it. Dan, any other questions for you?
Well, I was gonna. So, you guys say you sort of maneuver around Manchester, England, that pretty well now. Do you think if you become big rock stars, that's gonna make a difference?
No.
I mean,
No.
make a difference in what?
Well,
Yeah,
playing,
like just
playing in
being-
tournaments and
being-
stuff like
being
that.
even that
Everybody
much-
already knows who we are. We're the greatest starters who ever
No,
lived.
but if you have to tour and play darts, one's going to cut into the other. No, would you sacrifice one for the other?
Oh, we could play. I will do it at the same time.
Right. Yeah, who gives a shit?
Guitar in one hand, dart in the other. I hear you. I hear you. That's the way to go. I kind of have to ask. I know you got a lot of trophies back there, but your record, I see, all the wins in there. There's that one loss. You want to tell us about that one loss?
I knew this is a fucking joke in it from fucking
the fuck
beginning.
Well, that didn't quite go as expected. We lost the feed with those guys. What do you think of that one, Dan? we were all.
I mean, the reputation precedes him. It's the guy who runs the county. But we're sorry about some of the language and
Yeah.
we told them too. We're like, hey, if it works out, guys, it has to be like kind of maintain. They're like they obviously didn't care about any of that
I
stuff.
kind of have the feeling you don't tell them much. So, any questions from the audience? Happy Oscar night. Yeah, we're ready with our award. How about you? Well, we definitely always to throw it out to the audience for questions. So if you want to put up your hand, we can allow you to turn on your mic and ask some questions while we recover from that interview. In big news today marks a milestone. What happens 4 weeks from today?
1 month, April 12th. When we start.
Day one, principal photography. That's got to be exciting.
It is exciting. I'm still like a little shell shocked from the galleons, but what are you going to do?
Well,
We take no prisoners.
it was a lot different when we interviewed Danny and Jules. That's for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was very interesting, but I am definitely excited about the Oscars tonight and starting shooting in 4 weeks. I'm watching the red carpet on the TV behind me, seeing what's going on there. If there are any questions, please raise up your hand. We love questions. We know we see some people out there, and I actually see my mom out there. Hi, Mom.
Hey.
Oh, all right, Jim Hall, we're going to allow you to talk. Jim, allow you. There you go.
Hey, Danny, Travis, how you guys doing?
Good. What's going on?
Just living it up, man. Getting ready for Oscars.
Nice.
I had a quick question. I was wondering if there was a guy that was in Pottersville, and he played a news cameraman. I was wondering if he'd be making an appearance in this one.
You're being a funny guy, aren't you?
Maybe a little.
You had to watch that movie really closely to see me. I'll tell you that much.
You know what? I was sitting there thinking, who is he talking about? I forgot to go about.
Thanks, Dan. I think he might make an appearance somewhere in there.
Awesome.
Things good out there?
Things going great. Absolutely. Yep.
I'm looking forward to getting him back out to Michigan City in a couple weeks.
Awesome.
Fantastic. Any other questions out there? How about you, Dan? What's your big pick for the night? I know you thought it. You think it's going to be everything everywhere all at once.
I think so. I don't know. I was watching some stuff earlier, and they were talking about best actor, and people. I haven't seen The Whale, but I know people said that Brendan Fraser's performance is pretty great. I'd kind of like to see Colin Farrell win too. I always kind of root for the underdog.
Yeah.
He's kind of
right now he's kind of a distant third, maybe, but it might be nice to see him when because Austin Butler's the other one
Yeah.
for Elvis.
Colin Farrell's always been kind of hit and miss in a lot of his roles, but in this one, he is just so endearing and so good. I think he's very deserving tonight. And also, the other lad that was in Banshees, I think he's fabulous. The younger, I think he is just.
Yeah, his story, like, grew up in an orphanage or a series of orphanages, and then got into acting, and yeah, now he's at the Oscars. Pretty amazing.
Not bad, right? I know there's a lot of people surprised at some of the, I you know what, deep in my heart, I would love to see Maverick win for Best Picture. I have to tell you,
Yeah.
I think it was one of the best, enjoyable popcorn movies. I mean, it was everything. Like when I was a little kid, it was like going to see movies, whether it would be Star Wars or something like that. You were transported out of your mind into a place and forget the world completely, and you're in that movie. For me, Maverick was a return to that. Just eating popcorn and loving the movie, and it's just watching the flight scenes. I think it's everything what the love of movies is about, sort of. I really, really enjoyed it, and I think it did a lot of. It brought back movies in a way that during COVID, theaters, people were very scared about what was going to happen to movies.
Right, yeah, save the movie theater business.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it was Cruise, right? It was like they wanted to put it on streaming, and he said no. He's like, you're not allowed to do that.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
We'll wait till people go to the theaters again.
Yeah. So is there a bear on a kilo up for the Golden Globe? Royce do you understand, Royce? Sometimes we're gonna have to translate that.
I'm sure he means Cocaine Bear. I'm sure.
Oh, Cocaine Bear. Yeah, I think that's for next year. But yeah, we would love to see the bear. I mean, bears just never. I don't think we've had one bear nominated ever in the history of the Oscars. So they talk about it, a group that's just been denied over and over and over.
And he asked about the Golden Globes, because the Golden Globes was over weeks ago.
Yeah. Oh yeah, well, Royce is just catching up.
That's our Royce.
That's our Royce. We love him. Fantastic. So we'll give it a couple more minutes for questions out in the audience. Come on, we know you got a question out there. Geez, how could you not have a question after seeing the Gallion brothers? Geez. Was it everything you thought they would be or more? I was like, geez, to see them come together with Jules and Danny, I can only imagine.
Yeah, what those matches must be like.
Right. But I know one of the great things that when we were talking to Winmore about them coming on, they were telling us about some matches in Madison Square Garden, and I was excited, and you were excited about joining them to go see it. But I think Royce was the most excited. He was like, Disneyland. I'm going to Disneyland. So
that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a lot. Having Winmore on, it just adds so much more. Now we have the CDC, we have Jules and Danny, we got the Gallion brothers. I mean, it's this whole thing is kind of taking on a life of its own in terms of this production. I mean, you got to be taking a step back, like, wow, this is the little movie that could right now.
Yeah, it certainly has exceeded all of my expectations. That's for sure. Yeah, it's been so far. It's been a pretty incredible journey.
How are you holding the up and with knowing that now it's officially 4 weeks?
I'm cool. We got some more people to hire, and some positions to fill in that, some key stuff. But I feel great. I'm really excited.
Oh, that's awesome. And we actually got a question from Facebook. Dan, what's your favorite part of Michigan City?
Well, I mean, everybody likes the beach. Obviously, the beach is the beach. That's pretty great. But I really like the Uptown Arts District where the movie's set. I just like that area. I like all the mom and pop, shops. A couple art galleries there. The theater. Yeah, it's got a really cool vibe to it. I like that area.
Coffee shop that I go to in the morning and get my coffees when I'm there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly right.
Yeah, and last time we were there, I was lucky. I got to eat at a couple of the places we're going to be filming, which is really kind of fun to get in and see the places that are actually going to be in the film, and to see them in real life was a lot of fun. And it's fun when I get out there to see that. And now that we also have the blue chip in there for our World Darts Championship, where we're filming there, is really exciting too.
Yeah, it's great. It's going to look really cool.
Wonderful. Yep, they agree with you. Uptown has changed a lot. Definitely a lot of changes going on. Someone's asking about calls for extras soon. Any word on people where people can find out information on being extras? And I know we have a big scene where we're going to need a lot of people, so we might want to put a save the date on that. But any news on that?
Yeah, save the date on that for the World Darts Championship scene.
When's that
then
gonna
that's going to be the 28th and 29th of April.
be?
At
Fantastic.
Blue Chip.
So
Also
that,
the 29th, but we might need some people on the 28th too. So yeah. So there's that. And then I think pretty soon there will be some posts about extras. We'll do the save the dates thing for that. That's when we're gonna need the most people for the end of April. And then and also, if anybody wants to be a part of the crew, there's something that they want to do to help out or just be involved or whatever, we're always looking for help. So all those signups will come out real quick.
yeah, which we kind of update all over the place, but the main hub is this Facebook group right here. So if you want to get in touch with us, you can message us right here on the Facebook group, Bulls of the Movie Facebook group, and we're always kind of posting the latest information on there, so you can find out what's going on in terms of casting, in terms of extras, crewing up, new stuff like this behind the Bullseye. That's where we put up when we're going to put up new episodes of this and big announcements and all of that. I know we're very excited, and there's a lot more coming up in the next several weeks. I want to thank everybody. I hope everybody's excited about the Oscars tonight. I know Dan and I are. It's something that
Yep.
we'll probably be watching together, through Zoom or phone or something like that.
Yep.
And any messages before we kick this off and go watch the Oscars?
Really just a big thanks and shout out to everybody in the community for supporting us and being involved. And yeah, it really means a lot.
Yeah.
So thank you.
One of the ways, I mean, independent film is obviously, I think, such a beautiful way that outside the Hollywood system, people can make movies that really kind of matter and study, really kind of dive into the story and characters and make beautiful stories. And some of the best film comes out of the lowest budgets, which is incredible. But we could not do it without your help. And we have an Indiegogo going on. So if you look on our Facebook page, you can see the link straight to our Indiegogo. We're I think about 70% to our first goal. So if anybody can help at all or spread the news and help support, you're not only supporting independent film, but you're helping make us make a movie. And that means you're making a movie because you become part of our movie, and everybody that donates becomes a mini producer of a movie that we're all making. And there are actually some perks there. We actually are a full producer in terms of not a full producer. How would you explain it, Dan? They're
There's an associate producer and
yeah, we have actually. So we have two different ranks of that. One is a associate producer, which that's the hidden link, isn't it? That's our little
right.
Yeah, so we have one. If anybody wants, it's a $1,000 donation. You get an associate producer's credit. You get a set visit. You get to have a little fun with us. And if anybody wants that, I can send a private link. There's only one of those, and it's only done by private link, so it's not on the Indiegogo. And then there's also a couple bigger producer credits at 5,000 as well. But the deal is at I think the 1,000, which is pretty cool. So I want to thank everybody. Please. Check out Indiegogo and stay with us on Facebook to watch what we're doing and how we're doing it and behind the scenes. So from behind the Bullseye, we want to thank you, Dan, as always. Thank you.
Yep, thank you, buddy.
I'd like to thank the Gallion brothers. and we'll see how that develops. All right, guys. Thank you. Have a good night. Enjoy the Oscars. Let's go to the movies.